join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As they echo throughout our land, for all our friends who gave us all, who stood the ground and took the fall to help their fellow man. Love your country, live with pride, and don't forget those who died. America, can't you see? All gave some, and some gave all. Some had to stand through for the red, white, and blue. Some had to fall. If you have ever attended a military funeral, you might have noticed that the honor guards make crisp, intentional folds in the American flag that went straight to the casket. The first fold symbolizes life and how precious it is. The second fold signifies our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made to honor and in tribute of the veterans departing our ranks and defending their country. The fourth fold symbolizes our weaker nature and reminds us that we are all citizens trusting and searching for guidance in war and peace. The fifth fold is an acknowledgement to our tribute to our country. The sixth fold is an honor to where our heart lies as we pledge allegiance to the flag. The seventh fold is in tribute to the armed forces to protect our country. The eighth fold is in tribute to the one who entered the valley of shadows of death and to honor the mothers whom the flag flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is in honor of womanhood and their character that helped make this country great. The 10th fold is in tribute to fathers who have given their children in sacrifice for our country. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal. The 12th fold represents the emblem of eternity. And the last fold, when the flag is completely folded with only the stars exposed, reminds us of our national motto, "In God we trust." The Battle Cross is a time-honored military memorial that symbolizes the honor and service and sacrifice of the soldiers killed in battle. This touching memorial is life-size with a meticulous attention to every detail. The fallen soldier battle cross is made up of the soldier's belongings. The rifle is thrust into the ground, signifying that the soldier died in battle, fighting to the end. The boots carry a soldier through the fight for freedom and are placed at the base of the rifle. They are worn and dirty to remind us of that final march. Dog tags are worn by every service member and imprinted with information about the individual soldier. The name of the fallen will never be forgotten. The helmet is placed at the top of the rifle, representing what that person stood for and that the battle is over. The Battle Cross Bronze Monument is a powerful way to honor and remember the tremendous sacrifice of our American soldiers.
And You all can sit down. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Foxcroft Academy Student Council, this is my honor and privilege to welcome you all as we are to observe Veteran Day, a day to recognize and express our deepest gratitude to brave men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces. Today, we reflect on their courage, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication to our nation, whether on foreign soil or here at home. Veterans have given so much to ensure the freedom and opportunity we enjoy today. Their service is a reminder of the value we hold dear, and it is through their sacrifice that we are able to live in peace and safely. As we come together, let us remember the strength of those who have worn the uniform and pay tribute to their selflessness, both past and present. To our veterans, thank you. Your service will never be forgotten, and we are forever grateful for all you have done. Thank you all for being here today as we honor those who have given so much to our country. Thank you. And the first speaker of today will be Ingrid Berling.
By land, by sea, or by air. They serve because they love us. They serve because they want a better future for their country, a better future for their world. Serving comes with consequences that they know and are willing to dare. You can't find a braver person here or anywhere. They fight for their rights, and they fight for their lives, and we owe them all a thank you for all that they've sacrificed. Thank you.
And the second speaker will be Quinn Fabrizio.
I will also be reading a poem. We unite, heads lowered, grateful for the sacrifices made, the restless nights, the families shattered by service, each life lost or risked, forever honored for their valor and bravery. So make sure to take the time out of your busy day to say thank you and shake the hands of the men and women who served. Because whether it's family or stranger, the story of each of their lives, of their bravery and heartache, from a battlefield built on blood and fear, deserves to be told and heard. So thank you, men and women, for fighting in the name of freedom, of courage, and valor. Thank you, veterans, both young and old, for fighting for us, the generations of past, present, and future.
And our next speaker today will be Captain Clark.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be in your midst, and certainly on a Veterans Day celebration, a time when we speak and honor our veterans, both our past and of our present. Thank you so much for inviting me. You know, from the first moment I was invited to come here and speak, the word that kept coming to me was unity. Speak on unity. And actually it evolved into unity of purpose, more specifically. As I went about my days up until today, the words became stronger in my mind. Unity of purpose. Different stories and thoughts came to me surrounding the topic of unity of purpose and what it means to me to have a unity of purpose as a veteran. So I did quite a bit of reflecting and introspection as I contemplated what to share with you all today. And there's really so much I wanted to say, and I finally narrowed it down to about 50 pages. Just kidding. I know we all have to get out of here because we got to go to soccer games, we got to go to field hockey games, right? And I pray there to be cheering at the soccer game as well. Remember number 15, I can't find you in the crowd, but give them no quarter, all right? So unity of purpose is an idea that virtually all veterans understand. And well, the veterans, it may sound more like the term mission focused. It's a concept that was taught to us veterans from the moment we entered training. For me, it was taught even before I joined the active duty military, but while I was in the Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC in college. I was instructed to work from a mission-focused perspective, having this idea of unity of purpose drilled into my mind. It's the unity of purpose, this mission-focused perspective, that enables military units to develop into disciplined, well-oiled, extremely capable forces that successfully complete their missions and their goals. It's unity of purpose which pushes military men and women to overcome overwhelming and almost seemingly impossible odds to win our nation's wars and conflicts. So for my first story, by way of illustrating, I offer a personal telling from one of my children. In 2022, my middle son joined the National Guard as an 11th Bravo infantryman. He went into basic training after graduating from this high school right here at our very own illustrious Foxcroft Academy. In basic, my son wrote a number of letters home, all of which I kept and I reread periodically. Just call me sentimental. Recently, while reading one of those letters the other day, it struck me. And this idea of unity of purpose was so evident in his writing, it seemed to jump right off the page. I will share a bit of what he wrote in his letter. And oh, don't worry, I got my son's permission and I changed all the names of his buddies in basic to protect the innocent. So Bodie writes, and this is right after he has given me a play-by-play of his recent meals, as well as all the foods he's planned on dreaming, he's daydreaming about having when he returns. Because you have to understand the topic of food is serious business in basic training. He says, now I'll talk about the buddies I've made so far. There's Miles, he's from Iowa, and he's in the National Guard just like me. There's Clayton, he's from West Virginia, and then there's Torres, he's from Cali, along with Jorge and Perez, my bunkmate. They're good guys in my platoon. However, there are some who I don't necessarily see eye to eye with, but obviously I still work with them. We win and we lose together as a group. Overall, as a group, we're a little discombobulated, prone to disagreement and infighting. However, when we come together, there's not a lot we can't accomplish. Then some more talk about food and how they could have had extra bread at chow. But did you hear what he said? Unity of purpose, a coming together and accomplishing anything. And let me just expound on a few other key points in my son's words. Do you hear the variety in the names and the locations of where his buddies were from? Some from the East Coast, some from the West Coast, and even in between. all differing backgrounds and upbringings. I bet if we were to even ask them, each one of them, how do they go about something as simple as how do you prepare your MRE, which is a meal ready to eat, we would probably get 5 different approaches, 5 different answers. One of them might say, well, you got to put the hot sauce packet in first and mix it up, and then stir it around. While another one might say, no, don't use the hot sauce packet at all. Just eat it just as it is. You get my meaning. They're all different. And so by my son's own words, they did have their disagreements. Yet once they came together, there was nothing that they could not do. I do believe this unity of purpose is so readily seen in our veterans because it's by design, as I mentioned earlier. All types of military training and instruction has built within it a unity of purpose that is simply organic to the structure. Therefore, it's always being preached, it's always being encouraged. This is one reason why people from all walks of life can come together, enter the military, and pick up unity of purpose and no longer care about background, socioeconomic status, race, or even how you eat your MRE. Once the mission is given, everyone in that squad, platoon, company, whatever, all are focused on his or her individual contribution to the overall mission. They become mission focused, and unity of purpose becomes the fuel that feeds the movement to accomplish the feat to win the stated objective. Okay, for my next example, demonstrating unity of purpose. I chose another personal story. While we were stationed in Fort Drum in New York, prior to my husband's retirement and us moving here, we lost a soldier, Sergeant First Class Jeffrey Baker. He died while defusing an IED, improvised explosive device, while deployed to Afghanistan. I say we lost, but he actually was in my husband's unit. My husband was the commander at the time, so he and the sergeant major traveled out to California to pay respects to the family of Sergeant First Class Baker. My husband's explosive ordnance disposal, EOD unit, mission was to locate, identify, evaluate, and render safe explosive ordnance in dangerous situations. Sergeant First Class Baker was a member of a detachment which had been attached to another unit in Afghanistan. A short time passed after losing Sergeant First Class Baker, and then my husband's entire battalion had to deploy to Afghanistan. And even though they had recently lost a soldier, lost Sergeant First Class Baker, and it was a hard thing, my husband and his unit understood their mission and responded with a deep sense of unity of purpose. One final example I would like to share outlining unity of purpose or mission focus is found right here in our community. It's not a veteran-specific example, but it is representative. I've recently had the opportunity to witness many members of our community unite under a single idea of banding together to try and save a very precious resource in our neighborhood. Currently renamed the Piscataquis Area Community Center, this will be a meeting place for the fitness-minded, the wellness-minded, those who believe in quality child care, those who are socially minded, and believe that connecting with others is important. People from all walks of life, all types of socioeconomic backgrounds, all ages, all creeds and colors are rallying around this unity of purpose to brainstorm, pray, and work to ensure the PACC has a solid role and foundation in our community. People with various skills are stepping into needed roles and filling them to ensure this mission happens. I see personal biases being laid aside. Anything that might hinder advancement aside. Age doesn't matter. How much a person can give or not give doesn't matter. Everyone who wishes to help is welcome, and milestones for this project are being met. Therefore, unity of purpose can happen anywhere at any time with the right focus and drive. Before proceeding, I would like to offer a little guidance for consideration when choosing a purpose. Some questions I like to ask myself are, is what I'm looking at pure? Is it lovely? Is it of good report? Is there any virtue to be found in this purpose? Is it just? Is it honest? Perhaps you have other considerations. I also offer up some additional military core values to see how this term of mission-focused or unity of purpose interacts. I will go through these briefly, beginning with loyalty. Veterans are loyal to their service branch and to their country, so I ask myself, can I be loyal to this purpose? Duty is next. Duty entails creating standards that ensure success and completion of obligations. Will I have a sense of duty to this purpose? Respect. Respect covers treating people right. If I pursue this purpose, will I be able to be respectful in pursuing this purpose? Selfless service from a veteran standpoint is all about making the nation the top priority, as well as putting subordinates ahead of self. So as far as values go, can I give selflessly to this purpose? Honor involves living the values. Will I indeed be able to live in an honorable way if I pursue this purpose? Integrity, of course, is doing what's right. Am I doing what's right in pursuit of this purpose? Personal courage is facing fear, danger, or adversity, whether physical or moral. Can I take personal courage in carrying out this purpose? Hopefully these questions and others will help us all to strive to operate with this sense of unity of purpose. Again, veterans understand this unity of purpose very well, this mission-focused mindset. They live it, they cherish it, they embrace it, it's in them. And so my charge to you on this Veterans Day celebration is to remember this quality and all the other wonderful characteristics about our veterans, and thus honoring them in your understanding of what they stand for. Additionally, know that finding a purpose, a unity of purpose, is something worth striving for, and it brings great satisfaction and can impact our communities and our world in very positive ways. It's worth pursuing. Also know that each and every one of you were built for a purpose, whether you figured it out or not. I see you stepping into your purposeful role valiantly, whether it's right here in your own school or in your future outside of these walls. There's a vast number of worthy purposes out there, for each and every one a high calling for your life that you are designed to fulfill. And so I salute you all today. Each and every person in this room, veteran as well as non-veteran, thank you for the unity of purpose that you have already enacted, as well as the purposes you will endeavor to achieve. Again, thank you for allowing me to come and share with you all a little of what was on my heart on this Veterans Day celebration. God bless our veterans, God bless Foxcroft Academy, and God bless America.
Right now, we will show a video about Veterans Day, and Terry, I'm going to do it.
We observe today a celebration of freedom.
Today, America sets aside to honor millions of our finest heroes. They are the men and women who defend our country and preserve our peace and freedom. Each time our nation is called upon our citizens to serve, the best have come forward. Where do we get such brave young Americans? We can and should take the opportunity on this Veterans Day to remember their gift to us. Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they've suffered the scars of war. All those who served in America's uniform deserve the nation's thanks. Words could never express what the patriotism of generation after generation of American heroes means for the very soul of our nation. Because of you, America's best days are still to come. And with faith, freedom, and courage, there's no limit to what America can and will accomplish.
The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. They call to bear the burden, a struggle against the common enemies of man. United, there is little we cannot do. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
Throughout our history, America's men in uniform have always been ready when the cause of freedom called, and they've never let us down. Our most recent heroes, those still serving, carried on with the same dedication and valor as their colleagues before them. If we remember that their dedicated service is in defense of our freedom, and if we understand that they put their lives on the line so we might enjoy justice and liberty, then their sacrifices will not be in vain. This is our obligation, and this has been the spirit of Veterans Day from the beginning.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Tri-Country Technical Center Color Guard with high colors.
Sir requests permission to retire the colors, sir. Detail, attend, foot, right shoulder, arm, forward, march. Right face, retrieve colors, retire colors. Ready, front, forward, march. Ready, front, ball out. U.S. Veterans, hoorah!
I want to say thank you for all the veterans here with us today. Your courage, dedication, and sacrifice remind us of the true meaning of service. We are deeply grateful for everything you have done to protect our freedoms and keep us safe. Thank you again for your service, and thank you all, including faculties and students, for joining us today. Have a wonderful day. We do a refreshment after assembly for veterans. Thank you to the Tri-Country Technical Center, Color Guard, and to the Foxcroft Academy Band. And right now, faculties.